Hello students, this is Hardik sir, and today we will be starting our second lesson from book Our Past, Standard 7, New Kings and Kingdoms. So with this chapter, New Kings and Kingdoms, as from the title itself you can understand that New Kings wants to say that whenever we have already studied the part in 6th standard, that Janpadas, Mahajanpadas, we have already studied all those parts. So as they started growing, they emerged as new kingdoms, which we have already completed in 6th standard. But with medieval age, which were the new kingdoms that emerged in Indian subcontinent, that we are going to see with this first part of this video. So as we are starting with the introductory part, in this video there is only an introduction covered. So the inscription of Cholas in Tamil Nadu, that what we are going to see first, that more than 400 terms of different kinds of taxes. There were different types of 400 terms they were used for taxes. Most frequently, which is mentioned many of the times, that is vetti, which was not taken in cash but in the form of forced labor. So this was also a tax. The name of the tax is vetti, which we are going to see in the next videos also with detailed information. Then Kadamai, that is land revenue. There were taxes on thatching even the houses, climbing on ladder to palm trees, and also a cess, that means also a tax on succession to family property. So this was about the Chola. So Chola kingdom used to take number of types of taxes. Among them, some most important taxes which were most frequent are mentioned over here. Rulers belonging to Gurjara Pratihara, Rashtrakuta and Pala, these three dynasties, as you can see, they wanted control over Kannauj, and for Kannauj, as they wanted control, they had a continuous struggle, and that struggle was known as tripartite struggle. So try to understand which were the dynasties included or struggled for the control of Kannauj. Then there were Gurjara Pratiharas, Rashtrakutas and even Pala. So there were three dynasties, and these three dynasties were involved in tripartite struggle. We have also an information about Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni. He was from Afghanistan. He was the ruler of Afghanistan who ruled for a period of 997 CE to 1030 CE. That his area, which were the areas under his control. Then you can see that areas of Central Asia, parts of Central Asia, Iran and northwestern of the Indian subcontinent. So they were the parts under his control. He was a ruler from Afghanistan and also had a control over a vast area. So these are about the new kings we are just now learning, only the introduction. As you can find that we started from somewhere in Chola, then we got the name of Gurjara Pratihara, Rashtrakutas, Palas, but it is just the highlight. This video is just an introductory exemplary part, but don't skip the video again and again. Please watch it carefully because there are only important details covered with this first part. Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni, as you can find, he raided, means Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni raided the Indian subcontinent almost every year and targeted mostly wealthy temples. So he looted the wealthy temples like Somnath temple of Gujarat. We have the example. He had one scholar who used to write about his raids and his achievements of the subcontinent, and he was Al-Biruni. So Al-Biruni was the scholar who used to write about his achievements. He means Mahmud of Ghazni's achievements. He used to note it down. So he had written a book, Al-Biruni had written a book named Kitab al-Hind. So who had written Kitab al-Hind? We have a question here. So Al-Biruni. And Al-Biruni wrote about Mahmud of Ghazni, about his achievements, his raids and everything. We have even another dynasty that is named as Chahamans, later on known as Chauhans, which we are also going to see in detail with the upcoming videos. So Chauhans, they ruled around Delhi and Ajmer, and he was restricted. As you can find, Chauhan's ruler, he was restricted in expansion by Chalukyas of Gujarat and Garhwals of western Uttar Pradesh. So these were the areas where he couldn't establish control. We have one important information to best know, that is Prithviraj III, who defeated Afghan ruler Sultan Mahmud Ghori in 1191. So he defeated Sultan Mahmud Ghori in 1191, but he was defeated, means Prithviraj was defeated to him by 1192, that we are going to see with the upcoming videos. So next we have this map, you can find in your book also with a closer look. So big landlords, as we are going to see now about how these kings or kingdoms emerged. So big landlords or warrior chiefs in different regions are called Samantas. So who were Samantas? We have a question again. So big landlords or warrior chiefs in different regions are called Samantas, or subordinates to the existing king, means they were the subordinate to existing king. Subordinate, they, you can understand, they were like right hand, they were the very important personalities of the kingdom. As Samantas gained power, slowly and gradually the powers of Samantas also started increasing, and they became wealthy, and they declared themselves to Mahasamant and even Mahamandaleshwara. So they assumed the titles of Mahasamant and Mahamandaleshwar. So previously they were known as Samantas, as you can find. So these Samantas, when they gained more power and wealth, they started assuming the titles like Mahasamant and Mahamandaleshwara. Rashtrakutas were subordinate to Chalukyas in the Deccan, means Rashtrakutas were their subordinate. They Chalukyas were superior to Rashtrakutas, as you can find. In the 8th century, Danti Durga was a founder of Rashtrakuta dynasty. So Danti Durga, who overthrew Chalukyas, means actually Chalukyas were superior, but Danti Durga, a ruler from Rashtrakuta dynasty, ultimately overthrew Chalukya overlord and performed a ritual called Hiranyagarbha. So he performed a ritual called Hiranyagarbha. Now what is this ritual about? So this ritual was done by Brahmins for the rebirth of the sacrifice as Kshatriya. Means now he had rebirth of the sacrifice as Kshatriya. So he performed that ritual and established Rashtrakuta dynasty even in the region where Chalukyas were in the power. Kadam, as you can find the next ruler, Kadam Mayur Sharman and the Pratihara Harichandra, who were Brahmins, took to arms and successfully established their kingdoms in Karnataka and Rajasthan. So you can find Pratihara Harichandra, Kadam Maurya Sharman. They both took to arms, means they also had a war, and ultimately were able to establish their kingdoms in Karnataka and Rajasthan. So those new kings, they were the kings, you can find the names, and they started establishing new kingdoms. So we are in the part of introduction, as we will be upcoming with the upcoming videos, as we will be studying, you will find that all you have gone through with this particular video. So watch carefully with this video. If you have any query, any doubt, then just watch it again and again, and also you can ask question in comments. Next we can find about the Cholas. We have some information. So Cholas were subordinates to Pallavs, as you can find. Pallavs were the kings of Kanchipuram. So these names are very typical, and you must learn all these names, and this can be done only with the practice. Within a day, if you feel that you can learn and mug up all the names, then it is your mistake. Keep reading, keep learning again and again, keep reading even the important points also. So Vijayalaya, first we have. So Vijayalaya was the actually founder of the Cholas. Vijayalaya, who was the chief from Uraiyur, captured the delta region from Muttayur chieftain. So Muttayur chieftain, he was captured, means his region was captured by Vijayalaya. And then he built the town of Tanjore and the temple of goddess. So which goddess temple? As you can find the name, Nishumbha Sudhini. So please pronounce also proper way, Nishumbha Sudhini. So he founded the temple of goddess and he built the town Tanjore. He means I am talking about Vijayalaya. Please be specified. So his successor, means whose successor? Vijayalaya's successors grew the kingdom by capturing the Pandyas and even Pallavas territories. So Pandyas and Pallavas territories were also captured by Chola rulers now, because Vijayalaya was the founder of Chola dynasty. Raja I, he was the most powerful Chola ruler, as you can find 985 CE, and his son Rajendra I even raided the Ganga Valley, Sri Lanka and the countries of Southeast Asia. developing a navy for his expeditions. So as you can find that he established a navy also, naval fleets were also established. We have already completed Cholas, Cheras, Pandyas, Pallavas in 6th standard. We have studied all these parts. So you have even some good stories in your mind. You might have heard about Cholas and even the Cheras. So big temples at Tanjore and Gangaikonda Cholapuram were built by Raja Raja and Rajendra. So Raja Raja Chola, as you can find the name here. So Raja Raja Chola and Rajendra Chola, his son Rajendra first. They have also built some big temples like at Tanjore and at Gangaikonda Cholapuram. So this was the name of the city, Gangaikonda Cholapuram. So after defeating the Ganga Valley region, he was given the title of Gangaikonda, and then he established the city, and that city was named as Gangaikonda Cholapuram. So these we have completed in 6th standard. Chola bronze images were also considered the finest in the world. This is also to be best known. It is also an again important information. Okay. With the next part you can find settlements of peasants. So the farmers known as Ur became prosperous with the spread of irrigation agriculture. So why agriculture improved? There are number of reasons, because rulers were interested in more and more taxes, and for that they started establishing number of ways, they started expanding number of ways for the agriculture, and that is how the agriculture also developed, because now metals were used, started being used, even irrigation, number of facilities also had increased, and that was the basic reason that even the agriculture also increased. The agricultural productions were increased, and because of that, as you can find, the trading also improved. So these all we have completed with 6th standard. Again I am reminding you, if you have any query, any doubt, then you can also go through 6th standard Chola Chera Pandya lesson, so you will have much information about them. So groups such as villages, they were known as Nadu. So larger units, so number of villages in one group, and that group was known as Nadu. And who were having a control over this Nadu, who was taking care of the all affairs of Nadu? So you can find that rich peasants of the Vellala caste. So this you have already gone through the word Vellala caste. They exercised considerable control over the affair of the Nadu. Chola kings gave some titles like Muvendavelan, Arayyar, and entrusted them the important office of the state. Means they were the officials for the state, and these officials were given number of rights. Types of land, as you can find, so land of non-peasant properties, so that was known as Velam Vagai. So Velam Vagai, what was it? That was the land of non-peasant properties. So this was the land which was not included in that. Next you can find Brahmadeya. Brahmadeya means that was the land gifted to Brahmins. Then you can find Shalabhoga. Shalbhoga means land for the maintenance of a school, means Shala Bhoga. As you can understand the word Shala, so that comes from that word only. Then we have Devdana. Devdan. So Devdan, as you can understand well. So land gifted to temples. So Dev, deity, you can come to the word. So they are not so difficult to learn. Then you can find the word Pallichandam. Pallichandam. So land donated to Jain institution, Pallichandam. So these all the words should be pronounced in a proper way. Keep learning this, keep reading this. If you have any query, any doubt, then please pause the video and take a snapshot of this particular part, so that it can be useful for you. Elsewhere in the world, what was happening, as you can find at the end of the chapter, in China it was ruled by Tang dynasty, and the capital of the dynasty was Xian. So this is about the introductory part of the lesson. Thank you so much. Keep learning.